All right, it is week 11 in the NFL. John and Dan here against the Spread podcast. We're going to be guessing these lines like we did the past 2 weeks, and hopefully giving you some good insight. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing well. These guess the lines, I've been looking forward to them each and every week since we started doing them. This is quickly becoming my favorite thing we've done on here, and it helps that I've beaten you both times.
Yep, you have beaten me both times. I do have a lot of fun doing it, and I want to preface this by saying I was not bad this week. I did well. You're going to need to really bring your A game to beat me, so we're going off the opening lines. You look like you have something to say.
Well, I was just going to say you hinted at that earlier that you had done really well with this. And that's really the only reason I mentioned that I was 2-0. So just in case I drop this one real bad, people will know.
True. There's a lot of weird lines. I thought. I don't know. We can get into it, like how I guessed them, how you guessed them, and more importantly, what we think about them. Because I mean, if like say I say it's -7 and it's -2, and you hit it exact, that's good for you. But at the same time, that says that I have a opinion on the game, I guess. So we should probably track those opinions.
I agree, and the other reason why I like doing this, and I want to say it helps me later on in the week because it helps me form my opinion, like without being biased one way or the other, just by looking at the number. It helps me really look at. But when I do the guesses, I try to take out who what opinions I have on the teams and everything. So it's like. It's mix and match, and I've been just getting absolutely crushed in betting the last couple of weeks. So
yeah,
I guess it isn't helping me really, but it feels like it might be.
It's like I like to look how I develop my own thoughts. Like I don't know, like handicapping's so hard that like you got to try to look at like, and everyone knows this. Like when you're hot, how are you hot, and how do you stay hot? And when you're cold, how do you switch it up? So like kind of like. I'll listen to like experts talk. Like I listen to a lot of podcasts before the Sunday game, like Bet the Board and Simmons, and like you hear them talking, and they all have good thoughts, but it's like they're not always right. You got to figure out when they're right, when they're wrong. If you can figure that out, that's how you really get above 60%, above whatever the number you need. So it's tough, man. It's a tough business. No one wins, but we can try to break even, I guess.
Yeah, the more of those, the more. I mean. Like you said, love listening to the real pros do what we're trying to do here. But the more you take opinions from all sorts of different sources, the more you're just putting your brain in a complete pretzel at that point.
It's an information overload, and then you end up like I told you, there was 8 1:00 games. I liked all 16 sides. Like I liked every team. I thought every team was going to cover. So I almost bet on all of them and just guaranteed to lose like only whatever $50, but. It's so tough, dude. Like, we're not pros, but we gotta, I don't know. We're working on it, and I have fun doing this, like you said.
We're working on it. We're each and every day.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fun business. We try our best. We don't claim to be pros, but like I said, if you're listening to this, try to just figure out, and I've said it before, try to figure out when we're right and when we're wrong. Easier said than done, but that's like, you can just tell sometimes, and looking back, it's so easy in hindsight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hindsight is about 20/20.
If I could bet Sunday games on Monday, I'd be rich. So, but without further ado, let's get into these games. So the Thursday game is pretty much the matchup of our lifetime. I can't wait for it. It's the best game I can ever remember. The Titans go to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. So, I'm kidding. That game's absolutely disgusting. What do you got?
The mighty Titans versus the mighty Jags. Gross. I don't know. These teams are evenly gross, so I said Jacksonville -3.
All right. Well, you're off to a good start. You hit it exact. I said 2.5. I just thought, I think Tennessee is a little bit better than Jacksonville. Tennessee kind of showed me something, right? They lost to Carolina. I feel like they were in it more than maybe the score shows, or am I wrong about that? I was watching Red Zone, so I don't know.
I mean, I was watching Red Zone too.
Yeah.
They didn't. I mean,
it
felt like.
I just looked at Tennessee's schedules. They have a lot of L's. I mean, it's a lot of losses.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams are bad, man. Like, they're basically the same team. They got a young quarterback. They got, I don't know. Tennessee has a little bit better of a defense, but
you can't really. I mean, I don't think about that when you probably should. I don't. I'm not a pro enough to think about. You know what I mean? I'm looking about quarterbacks and like Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean.
But you're probably
that's
right.
The thing. Jacksonville has more weapons on offense. Tennessee's got a better defense. These teams are evenly bad. They're a few years away from doing anything, either of them. So they have to just keep on sucking a little bit more. They might try to lose. I'm not sure. Especially Thursday. You never even know what's happening.
This could be the ugliest game in history. I think it'll go under.
Thursday night football games are so gross. Like I said, both these teams need to, obviously they're not going to try to lose yet, but
right.
Both these teams need to lose to keep getting better players to hopefully be good someday down the road. I just said that they were equally bad, so take the 3 points for the home team, Jacksonville -3. That's what it is.
Yeah, so we'll probably be betting this game, but we're not going to be happy about betting this game. There'll be NBA, there's college b-ball on. Maybe we can avoid this game. Maybe.
There is starting to be more things to bet on in more times of the day.
Yeah.
Which is really, not good for somebody who's on major tilt right now, just donking away a bunch of loot.
I mean, like we were talking about earlier, Tennessee's playing Georgia Tech in basketball today. There should be a law against those schools even, ever playing each other. I don't know. My brain's just out of sorts thinking about that basketball game. Could you imagine?
Yeah, and the Baylor-Oregon game.
Yeah.
Don't know anything about their basketball teams, but just knowing the football teams, I'm going to take the over in that game.
Right. Well, you got to assume Baylor has huge big men like they always do, and you got to assume Oregon has that mighty Joe Young kid still, right? Do they still have him? Because he was, I don't know. Oregon b-ball was that. I liked them last year, so we'll get into college. Maybe we'll do some college basketball podcasts later, but that's for another time and another place. All right, so we'll go into the 1 o'clock games. The first one on my list, so we'll go with the Colts-Falcons. I know I didn't send it to you before, so you got to find it. Indy at Atlanta, no Andrew Luck. Indy coming off a bye.
Indy coming off the bye.
And Atlanta coming off a bye, right?
Yes. Again, I think both these teams are relatively equal. Equally mediocre, equally not living up to expectations. Atlanta started hot and is just going in the wrong direction here. Indy can't get it together. They can't seem to get it together. The only saving grace they have is they now have Matt Hasselbeck as their quarterback, and he's the only one that wins games for them.
That's true.
But that being said, completely contradicting that, I said that they were even teams, and then losing Luck will lose 2.5 points to the spread. So I said Atlanta will be -5.5.
All right, so you cheated?
What do you mean? Spot on again?
Actually, no. I always do this. I confuse I said 5.5 as well, and it's 6. So we're tied.
Okay.
Sorry. I falsely accused you there, because if you hit it exact at 5.5, I was going to say that you cheated. It is 6. We both had the same exact thought process. Atlanta's trending way down, with their recent games. I think they've lost their last, have they lost their last 3? No, they lost 3 of 4. They lost versus the Bucks at San Fran. Those are some terrible losses as huge favorites. The Colts are such a wild card with their quarterback situation. I can't really make heads or tails of them, or this game, really. I don't know. I don't really have much on this game.
Both the coaches suck. We've expressed our opinions on Pagano, but Dan Quinn, he's like a fired up guy, he'll get you pumped up, but he's a perfect personality to be a defensive coordinator. Right. And that's why he was such a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's so true. I would take the points here, just because, these teams, I think low of these teams. I think they're decently evenly matched, And I don't know if I think you're dead right about what you said. They're evenly matched. Luck's 2.5 points. I think that's a really spot on analysis. I don't think Luck's worth 2.5 points over Hasselbeck because Luck's been playing bad, and like you said, they've been winning with Hasselbeck. So right now, 6. I like taking the points here because I could see this coming down to the last possession.
I agree. I entirely concur there.
All right, so we agree on that. Our brains are in lockstep right now. So we'll see what happens throughout the week and how we develop. I'd love to have another podcast. I'd love to podcast on Friday or Saturday and really try to revisit our takes because that's a good take. We have good takes on this game. So.
All right.
Okay, so that's it. We'd split that. Next up is a very interesting game. And again, you have not seen the lines, right? Just to clarify, I looked at them before. You have not.
I have not seen any lines yet this week.
You're learning with me because I thought there were some surprises. Rams at Ravens. I'm just gonna let you go on this. What do you think about this game?
Another interesting one. Rams, they're just a disappointment, man. Like, I know it was the sexy pick for a lot of people for a while, but they're not living up to expectations. I actually predicted them losing to the Bears this week, which was one of my good picks of the week, which there wasn't too many of them. They just can't, I don't know, and especially away from home. Now, on the other side of the field, you got Baltimore, who is just getting the most bad beat losses of every single game they lose by a field goal or less. This week, I don't know if you saw the end of that, but that was an awful way to lose to the Jaguars.
And we were talking about taking them 500 to 1 to win the Super Bowl, which looked good, and then now that would have been burnt money because there's no way.
Yeah, it's impossible now. Pretty much, they got to be 2,000 to 1.
Yeah.
Maybe hop on that train now.
Yeah. No, I think they were 1,000 to 1. I looked today.
Okay. All right. No, yeah, and actually, did you hear the NFL came out and said that the officials got that wrong? They should have called a false start on Jacksonville on that play that the face mask happened on.
Really?
So, yeah, so they admitted Baltimore should have won the game, too, so even worse.
It's absurd. The NFL comes out and says, yeah, we fucked up. They should have won, but they didn't win. And it's okay, all right, now what?
Yeah, cool, straight up.
Don't say anything. So, I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But it's great how fucking all the Deflategate teams are just karma's coming back at them between the Ravens and the Colts and the Seahawks losing yesterday too. I mean, the Seahawks don't have as much to do with it, but
they're
it's
not
just
a deflate.
The three teams we ran through in the playoffs, basically.
True. We murdered them all. So what do you got on this one for a spread?
St. Louis at Baltimore. I said pick 'em.
God, we agreed. I said pick 'em. It's just I've been doing a lot of math with one of the ways that I handicapped this week doing Guess the Lines was I struggled on a lot of the games, and then I said I did well, so I struggled on a lot of the games, and then I said, all right, what if they were in St. Louis? What would it be? It's it'd probably be St. Louis by a little under a touchdown, neutral field 3, pick 'em. The spread is Baltimore -1, so we were close on that. I don't know, I have no interest in betting this game. This is a shitty game.
Yeah, I don't see any value in either side there. But I feel good about my capping, I guess, of the spread there because because I said, we both said pick 'em. If you had asked me which side would you think would be, if you said it's -1, which side do you think is -1? I would have said Baltimore. So
right. I should have played that game.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty spot on spread, and I don't know which side I would want to take.
Well, the Rams are 4-5, so logic says they'll win. And if they're getting
that's the Fisher paradox there?
Yeah, they'll probably win this game. Fisher sucks. He sucks. The Rams, yeah, you're right. I liked the Rams. I was high on the Rams. I had them beating Minnesota. They lost that tough game, which I think killed them. And now I'm high on Minnesota. That was a good pick by me. They beat the Raiders pretty convincingly. I didn't bet it because I just wanted to focus on the Pats, but it was a good pick by me. So All right, that's it. That's all in that game because that game's disgusting. Next up is the undefeated Carolina Panthers. They are home versus the Washington Redskins, the high-flying Washington Redskins, who had a very convincing win against a very bad Saints team. So, what do you got on this one?
I want to just start hammering the overs in the Saints games.
Yeah.
I don't know why I haven't been doing that.
I wonder what it is.
Well, the Saints aren't even in this game. You brought up the Saints, and it's just like, who are the Saints even playing this week? I think they're on a bye.
Yeah, they are. This is the last week for buys, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. I just want to start hammering overs in the Saints games. Their defense can't stop anybody.
I know.
Their offense is pretty good. I looked it up. They're like 6-3 or 6-3 or something. I don't know. They're the overs in the Saints games have been smashing.
Oh, really?
They're profitable this year. Well, that has nothing to do with Washington and Carolina. There's just a little tangent there. In this game, I said, give Washington a little bit of respect, but I think Vegas is going to start. I've said this last week, and it wasn't true, but I think they're going to start giving Carolina the respect that they deserve at this point. So I said Carolina will be over a touchdown favorite. I said -8.
Oh, we split it. I said 7, and it's 7.5. We were right there. Yeah, I guess I gave them a little less respect. I put more stock in the big Washington win than maybe I should have because the Saints are so bad. So how like you said, their defense is so bad. Washington, I thought they didn't play as bad against the Pats as maybe the final score showed. I mean, the Pats played bad. Who knows? We're connecting dots here. I think this is a good game to tease with Carolina. I said the same thing about Green Bay last week, and they lost outright, which is unreal. So, yeah, I think Vegas is spot on here. I don't really feel like betting this game at 7.5. I don't know if you do.
I agree. I like Washington. So I said I was starting to respect Carolina. I actually bet the Titans against him this week, too. I can't bring myself to bet on them, and I'm losing every single week.
Is Carolina one of the Super Bowl?
I mean, they're the best team they're by far the class of the NFC.
Are they going to have home field? They're probably going to have home field.
It's close to locked up. I mean, it's way too early to say that, but they got a 2-game lead on everybody else at least.
They have a 2-game lead on the Cardinals and the Vikings.
Cards and Vikings, I think, are the only ones with 2 losses, right? And then there's a couple
6-3 teams.
Yeah.
And then they play versus the Redskins at Dallas, win, because Dallas sucks. At New Orleans, don't even need to say that. Versus the Falcons, at the Giants, at the Falcons, versus the Bucs. Are they going undefeated? They could.
There's at least 2 losses in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, history would show that the Carolina Panthers aren't going to go undefeated, but I don't know. I think they'll be favored in every single one of those games.
Imagine 2 18-0 teams in the Super Bowl.
Oh, Don Shula would have a fucking conniption.
Yeah, Mercury Morris there.
Yeah, they'd be rooting for a tie or a terrorist. That was probably poor taste to say that, but yeah, that would be awesome. I would love that, but I would kind of hate that.
The Skype actually froze when you said whatever you said, but I was just gonna say too soon, maybe.
Yeah, too soon. Thoughts and prayers for sure, but yeah, no, that would be awesome. Carolina, I hope they go to I mean, I would love to play Carolina in the Super Bowl.
Me too, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Although I don't know, they got a good defense.
If they're still winning every game at that point, I mean, obviously we'll be nervous, but...
I know, but who else is in the NFC that's, scary? Not Green Bay anymore,
Nobody.
Right?
Nobody. Green Bay doesn't scare me. Seattle doesn't scare me.
Seattle's out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Cardinals, meh.
Does Minnesota scare you?
No chance.
The only team that scares me is the Giants and maybe the Panthers.
The Giants are going to make the playoffs, though.
Yeah, we're fucked. The Giants are going to make the Super Bowl, and we're going to be 18-0 playing the Giants on Super Bowl 50 in San Fran.
I mean, mark those words down because that could easily be the case.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll lose a game, so a little pressure will be off. But anyways, let's get back to these games. The next one is Denver, Chicago. So I thought I picked well, but you have one win. We split the rest. Next one is Denver, Chicago. I recently adjusted my line because this didn't have a line. This is one of the games I had to just find. And I picked when I thought Manning was in, Manning was out. I adjusted my line. That's full disclosure. So I'll let you go on this.
Okay. Yep. I mean, Manning being out is a relatively large factor here, although they're probably better without him. I think Osweiler came in and played decent in the second half against the Chiefs.
I didn't adjust it. Yeah, I'll let you go, and then I'll say.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of Denver without I mean, their defense is just their defense, great defense. Chicago's rolling lately. Cutler's putting it together. I think Denver's still a better team. I think Denver's still going to, even without Manning, I don't think Manning, basically, if Manning was in this game, I was saying that Denver would be favored by, between a field goal and a touchdown, somewhere in the Vegas zone. I adjusted it a little bit, but I still think Denver's favored. Less than a field goal, though. I said the line is 2, and Denver is the favorite.
Okay, I'm gonna get this one. So I think less of Denver than you apparently, because with Manning I had 2.5, and then I took off a point with Osweiler because Manning's really bad. So I said Denver minus 1.5. It's Denver minus 1. So it's
okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Chicago looked really fucking good last week. They've looked good they're on a 3-game win streak, right?
3-game win streak.
Good. Denver's still got that defense. They're a better team on paper. It's hard to just go week by week. I mean, you would think Denver's a better team. So if Denver was home, it'd be about a touchdown. They're on the road. It's 1. It's going to be a good game. I can't wait for this game. I don't know.
I like Denver.
Do you? You like them to come back?
Yeah, I think the defense makes a big difference. Then again, the defense didn't look great against the Chiefs. Alex Smith torched them, and Cuddy might be, who knows? He might be better than Smith. I mean, he's the opposite. Jay Cutler and Alex Smith are absolute opposite quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Oh, they're exact opposites. Perfect thing to say.
Okay, so for that, I'm going to say Cutler, he's more risky. Denver will take advantage of some of that. I think their defense can step up. Chicago's been rolling. They're due for a loss. I think Forte's going to come back, and that might not be a good thing. I'm not sure, actually. They might have Langford for another game.
They're both good.
Been tearing it up, yeah. So who knows? That might be a timeshare going forward. Either way, I mean, we were both close on this. We said it's 1. Right? It's 1. You said 1.5. I said 2.
Yep.
I like Denver. I think Denver wins this game by a field goal or more.
So you broke it down that way. I'll break it down from the Bears' perspective. They won their last 2. They scored 37 points against the Rams on the road, which, I mean, Rams are supposed to have a legit defense. They beat the Chargers in like a tough game on the road. They lost a tough game to Minnesota. Like, I don't know. Chicago's offense has been legit. I think Denver's defense is the best that they're going to see. Denver's probably good for a defensive touchdown this game. Like, I think you can almost lock that up with Cutler and Talib and whoever else they got in their secondary. So that kind of almost makes me want to think about the over here. So I'm going to just take a quick peek. I don't know what the over is on this. But I would guess the total's what? Like, with Osweiler and Cutler, like 42.5, 43?
Yeah, I could see that, and I think I would lean over as well.
Yeah, so, I don't know. We'll see. Interesting game. All right, it's 1-1. I'm really excited for that game. That's going to be a good 1 o'clock game. Next is Oakland, Detroit. I hit this one exact.
All right. I think I gotta jump off the Raiders bandwagon. I've been riding them hard, and they've let me down the past couple of weeks. Detroit coming off the upset of the season against Green Bay. I give them some respect for that, but you know what? I guess I'm still on Oakland because I'm not. I see Oakland as a better team here. I think they have a better offense. I think they're more put together. Del Rio is a better coach than. I mean, Jim Caldwell might be worse than Pagano. So all those factors, I said playing in Detroit doesn't matter, and it is a pick'em.
Okay, it is Oakland -1.5. So the way I did it was, and it makes really no sense in terms of how you want to handicap the game, but I struggled thinking about Oakland at Detroit. With all these close spreads, I've been struggling in guessing the line, so I flipped the home and the away team. So I said if it's Detroit at Oakland, it's probably just over a touchdown, 7.5, 6.54, 3.2, 1.5. So that's how I came up with the 1.5. I think Oakland's better. Detroit coming off a very emotional win, monkey off their back, beating Green Bay. I like Oakland here. Just gonna.
You think it's a letdown spot?
Classic letdown spot. I wouldn't be surprised if this moves. Just because it'll probably move because of the public. So what does that tell you? I don't know. Maybe that's sucker thinking.
Did the Lions let a superfan in Detroit Don back in yet?
I saw a headline. I don't know. There's something. I think Big Cat had a post about it. I didn't read it though.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would have thought that Oakland would be just under a touchdown favorite at home versus the Lions.
Yeah.
Maybe I put too much credence in the recent win from the Lions this week. Because the Packers just looked really bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, still pretty close, but all right, you got that one spot on.
Yeah, so, I don't know. It'll be an interesting game. I like Oakland right now, and I think that's probably going to be a public play. Like, I bet you that'll be the biggest public play of the week. So, and all
right, so maybe I don't jump. Maybe I ride the Oakland bandwagon one more week.
Yeah, but it's public, so who knows? I don't know. I'm putting stock in your sharp stuff, because I don't know, listening to Furman really gets me how you were talking earlier, like, you want to, like, make this, like, it's just awesome. It's awesome listening to these sharps talk and how they set the lines and stuff. But with these games that are, like, such close spreads, it's just tough, man. It's tough. So, alright, next game, Jets, Texans, very gross. I don't even want to spend too much time on it, but what do you have?
Hard to know. I don't even know if there would be a line for this available on covers or anything.
There wasn't. I had to find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, Jets looking like they're back to themselves. They've reverted back to the norm here. They got blown. I didn't even get to watch that game against Buffalo with the gross unis this week. I wasn't at a place where NFL Network was available. So
yeah,
I guess I'm the lucky one in that situation, having to watch that.
Yeah, I took NyQuil and fell asleep at halftime.
Perfect. And then Houston's been bad this year. Houston's been miserable this year.
They're only 3-5.
Especially if they have a good. I think they're going to get smoked tonight, though. So that might factor into why I said the spread that I said. But I said the Jets are 1-point favorites.
Okay, I'm going to get this one because it's 2.5 is the line that I found on Vegas Insider, and I said 1.5. So we basically think the same thing. But I just gave the Jets an extra point. I think what I did is I put the game in New York, and again, I thought it would just be over a touchdown. So that's what I've been doing with these 1-point spreads, and it's not useful for any type of handicapping, but that's just what I did. The game itself, like you said, I need to see Houston play. So I can't really talk enough about this game. We need to see what happens tonight. I agree that I think Cincy probably covers tonight. I think that's a very public play as well, so I'm not that confident in it. It's not a 5-star play, but I thought the Jets were going to beat the Bills, and they looked bad they lost to the Bills, which is unbelievable at home. Sucks for them. That would have put them in the driver's seat for a wild card spot. So they're going to be gunning for a win. So gun ahead, I take the Jets. Very similar game to the Oakland-Detroit game. This is unbelievably similar to Oakland-Detroit. 1.5 point road favorite.
Late breaking opinion, I think the Bills are really good. I wish I thought that on Thursday instead of betting on the Jets. Really good is definitely a stretch. But I think the Bills are
Playoff?
much better than the Jets. I think the Bills are playoff bound. I think they're going to take that last playoff spot that I was originally penciling Oakland in for. I like the Bills. Back to tonight's game that we briefly brought up. Do I bet on Cincinnati, man? I need a winner bad. What do I do?
I don't have a winner tonight. I don't have a winner. I'll have to look. Well, it's already 6:55, so we're not even going to get any NBA bets in for the early slate. But I don't have a winner. I miss baseball. I want 15 games on the diamond tonight. We're not going to get that. We got to go to Japan or Cuba or wherever the hell they're playing baseball for winners because I need bases in my life.
Yeah, it's tough. Tough sledding here.
I need bases, man. I miss bases. Johnny Bases. I think I went 18-2 at one point during the baseball playoffs. You were with me on them. We were hot. We were hot in baseball. Everything else is just not as good. College football's happening, but not on Mondays. Who knows, man? This is a shit. Let's look at NHL maybe for a winner tonight.
Yeah, I might head to the ice.
Yeah, we'll head to the ice. We'll head to the ice. All right, next Dallas, Miami. What do you got?
Let me find that.
I believe
here.
Romo is back.
Romo is back.
I just got an alert. Carlos Correa won Rookie of the Year in the AL. Just bases.
Bases.
Deservedly so, although he could have made a play for us and won us like $2,000 a month ago.
Yeah, that would have been nice, but that would have knocked the Royals out of the playoffs. So.
And then the playoffs would have been different, and we might have lost a bunch of bets that we ended up winning, so it all evens out.
Exactly. We'll take it the way it went, the way it played out.
Yeah.
Actually, did you see Bogarts won the Silver Slugger instead of Correa? Actually.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Wow. Because Correa didn't play long enough, right?
That might be it. I don't know, but all I know, Bogarts had the second best average in the league.
Yeah, but Slugger, man. Bogarts had like 5 home runs.
Yeah, Slugger's is not for the power hitters. It's just best hitter at the position.
The most
second best average in the league isn't bad.
The most important stat in baseball is OPS. Let's not get into. I'd like to look at the OPS of those two. I bet you Correa's was a lot higher. I bet you. Did you just get a call?
I don't know what happened.
Oh, all right. Anyways, let's just get back on track because this cast we're shooting at over an hour now. Like we're probably gonna go over an hour. Dallas, Miami.
Dude, Simmons cast for an hour.
I know. Listen to him. And we're the only two listening to this cast anyway. Even if I don't even know if we listen to it. Our last cast might have gone unlistened to.
Didn't we talk about if a tree falls in the forest?
Yeah.
A cast.
I'm gonna say right now, anyone listening to this podcast, if you text me the word ATS podcast, I will Venmo you $1. The first person to do it. I'm gonna Venmo you $1 if you text me ATS podcast randomly. Done.
Love it. $1. I'll actually match that. So $2 on the table.
Okay, $1 from you, $1 from me. Your network, my network. We'll see if any of our friends are listening. So that's fun. We got to get to the football though. Dallas, Miami.
Okay, rapid fire here. I said I factored in Romo pretty big on this one. Miami coming off a win. Dallas can't win without him, which makes me think they're definitely going to win with him. I said it's a pick'em.
Okay, you're going to get this. I didn't factor Romo in as much as I should have. There's no way around it. I said Miami minus 2.5. It's Miami minus 1. So you're 1 point off. I'm 1.5 points off. We're the opposite ways. Dallas is so bad. I think they're going to lose this game still. Even with Romo, I think Dallas goes to Miami. They got to go all the way down to Miami. Greg Hardy, fuck that guy. There's so much turmoil in Dallas. I know Romo's back. Maybe he'll pull out a win. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a bad game in terms of football. I could definitely see it going over, so I'm going to look at the total, but I don't think I just don't think Dallas is going to win. I think Dallas just stinks.
Let me ask you a question. If you're a Cowboys fan, do you want Romo coming back?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess not. Why would you want him back?
Why would you? I mean, you're not mathematically out of it. He could have a hell of a second half and somehow sneak into the playoffs. But this team is so fundamentally flawed that I just think, you'd be better off tanking the hell out of this season, getting a nice high pick. Fournette can't come out until the year after this.
Oh, he's a true freshman?
True sophomore.
You gotta be
3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that new, or has that always been?
That's always been.
Jesus, that's a long time. I guess that makes sense. What about Derrick Henry? So who's the number one pick?
Joey Bosa?
I don't know who that is.
Ohio State D-end. He's dominant.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they could use a lot of things. So interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, you're right though. Why would you want Romo to play? I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that at all. I mean, there's only like one or two teams with a worse record than them right now. If they keep having Castle or Whedon or whoever they throw out there, they're just gonna keep losing. They'd be in real good shape.
I feel like the Cowboys are the type of team that doesn't tank. Like Jerry Jones doesn't want his guys to tank. He doesn't want to be 2-14.
There's so many things wrong with. I mean, not that I would ever,
I don't know, dude. Joey Bosa. Does that sound like a good player?
I mean,
we'll listen to this podcast in 4 years, and he's going to be like fucking Lawrence Taylor, but I don't care. Joey Bosa from Ohio State. Is he white?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah, right. He's going to be the number one pick?
He's like Andy Katzenmoyer.
How'd he do? Didn't he have like a stroke his like third game?
He didn't pan out well. He was on the page. Did we draft him or did we
drafted
get him afterward? Okay, yeah.
But I can't imagine Joey Bosa. Have you ever heard of Walter Football?
Oh yeah, Walty Football?
No, it's like that's the number one. I searched mock draft and it brought me to Walter Football. The number one pick right now is an offensive tackle from Ole Miss. Is this like updated? Last update, November 11th. The top two picks are offensive tackles.
Of course.
One from Ole Miss, one from Notre Dame, and then Paxton Lynch, the QB from Memphis, a cornerback from Florida, a safety cornerback from Florida State, and then Joey Bosa's 6. I haven't heard of any of these guys. Miles Jack is 9, they're saying. Even though
he's good.
Yeah. The QB, Jared Goff, the QB for Cal. I'm pretty sure he sucks. I don't know. We're getting off another tangent, but I feel like I bet on Cal once. No, yeah, I did. No, I bet against Cal with Utah, and Goff threw 5 picks, and he's the 9th pick in the draft. Yikes.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't a great class.
No. So having said that...
All right, maybe scratch the tanking idea.
Yeah, scratch the tanking idea because you're Dallas. Anyways, I don't want to talk about this game anymore. So what did you say? You said...
I said pick.
You said pick, and you got it. All right, it's 3-2 me. This next game, I think you're going to get because I was way off. It is Tampa Bay at Philly.
All right, Tampa at Philly. Philly sucking. Can't get a win. They looked like they were going to roll over the Dolphins yesterday, and they just blew it. Tampa Bay, what the hell did they do yesterday? I can't even remember.
I don't know. They're both 4-5. Tampa Bay
beat Dallas.
Beat Dallas.
Okay. I still think Philly is going to get a little bit more respect because I just think Philly is an overinflated team. I think the public bets Philly, and I think Vegas factors that in. So I think it's going to be slightly more than the 3-point home edge. So I said Philly minus 4.5.
Okay, you're going to get this. I said -3. It's -7.
Wow.
That's too many.
That's too many. That's more than I even thought it would be. I think what I said is correct.
For sure. For whatever reason, the Vegas loves Chip Kelly. We've talked about this the past 4 podcasts. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, and have you been capitalizing on it? Because I sure haven't.
No. So, maybe I have. I don't know. Well, what happened was, I think the last time Philly won was a game that we bet the Giants on. Oh, no, they beat Dallas. Oh, they beat Dallas in that shitty night game, Monday night or Sunday night. And then they crushed New York Giants in that game where, like, we had a parlay that would have won us some money.
I think we were ahead of the curve, though, because we knew Philly sucked. They just didn't suck that one game.
Yeah.
But they did suck that game. That game was gross. They sucked that game, too, and they somehow won. But we knew they were going down this path. We were just a little bit too early.
A little too early on them. They lost to the Dolphins. They beat the Cowboys. They lost to the Panthers. And I like Tampa Bay. I just like them. I like Jameis Winston. I just like rooting for him. I would never bet Philly -7. Are you kidding me? That's probably why it's definitely a cover. Go ahead.
Did you watch yesterday's Tampa Bay Dallas, get any of it?
I saw Jameis made like one sweet play, and that was probably the only good play of the game because it was 10-6.
You didn't see much of it if you were watching Red Zone because nothing happened.
Yeah.
It was punt city.
Yeah, so that's probably why it's 7, because Tampa couldn't do shit against Dallas, but Philly's defense is no better, but you gotta assume Philly's offense is better than Dallas, who is just a walking dead person. So I really like Tampa. I'm starting to like Philly.
The more we talk about why we love Tampa, the more we end up loving Philly.
Right. So you said 4.5 there. All right. So it's 3-3. So nice. All right. Next is Chiefs Chargers in San Diego.
We've hit the afternoon slate?
I think so. Yeah, we have.
Okay. San Diego coming off a bye, I believe.
I think so.
Chiefs coming off of demolishing the rival Broncos. I think the Chiefs are starting to put it together. San Diego, it's in San Diego, and San Diego has no home field advantage. They don't have a home field advantage.
That's true.
I don't even think Vegas gives them the 3 points for it. I mean, it's almost a given, but San Diego, like, there will be more Chiefs fans, just like there'll be more any other team's fans than Chargers fans at Qualcomm Stadium. I almost want to change what I said, just because of how little of a home field advantage San Diego has. I gave them a slight bit of respect for that, so I said San Diego is the favorite, but I put it at I put it at 1.5.
Okay, you're way off. I hit it exact. It's Chiefs -3. San Diego lost their last 5 games. They're like one of the worst teams in the league. Chiefs are coming off a big win and trending up. I think this line makes a lot of sense. I said if the game was in KC in this divisional game, it's going to be 9.
What is it?
It's Chiefs -3.
Okay, I like that. I mean, that makes more sense to me.
Yeah. It makes sense. The Chiefs won their last 3. The Chargers lost their last 5.
I went so, all over the map on this one, didn't know, what it would even be. At first I had Chiefs being favored, which is clearly what it is. I should have done more research on it because I didn't realize San Diego had lost 5 in a row.
Yeah, because like I said at the beginning of the podcast, when you're way off on something, does that mean you like it? But do you like San Diego +3?
This is not a situation where that is the case.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, I mean, love home dogs, but don't love home dogs when it's San Diego. Yeah,
so we're talking San Diego. We're rubbing them through the dirt, so they may upset and win this game at home.
Yeah, they're pretty much due, and I mean, Phillip Rivers is a good fantasy quarterback. I'm doing well in that league, so who knows? What's the total in this game?
I'll let you guess. Or do you have a lean on it?
I don't even know because Chiefs got a good defense, but like I said, I think the Chargers typically score. They just allow a ton of points. The Chargers are another over team. If the Chargers and Saints played, I would set the over-under at 60.
So they had the Monday night game, which is always weird, right? They lost to the Bears 22-19. Other than that, 29-26, 37-29, 27-20, like 24-20, 30-27. Yeah, a lot of their games go into the 50s.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Chargers are an over team, Saints are an over team. I want those two teams to play, and I just want to hammer, like, over 80.
But, like, Vegas doesn't let you do that, you know?
That'd be cool, though.
Yeah. No, I just mean, like, Vegas, just because the Saints are an over team, they have a 50% chance of going over next week, or whenever they play. It sucks, but it's just true. Like, it's not that easy. It's just, oh, yeah, bet the over. Like, no. But I understand what you're saying, and the total on this game, can you try to venture a guess? Because you're right. We lost you, I think that. Hello, you back?
I'm back.
Because it's tough because, like you said, there are two different teams. The Chiefs are an under team and the Chargers are an over team. So I'll tell you, the total's 44. I don't know.
44 sounds about right. I mean, if I don't know what a total is going to be, I'm going to put it right in the mid-40s.
Yeah.
I think I would have said, I might have even said 45 or 45 and a half here, just because the Chargers allow a ton of points. And I think the Chiefs can, they can put up some points. They scored a little bit against Denver's really good defense this week. So, yeah. I don't know. I might lean over in that, but I definitely don't favor the Chargers in any way.
Yeah. It's the 4:05 game, so that's like the game that like you're still waiting on your 1 o'clock bets.
There's like probably like a couple of major drives happening down at the end. Like you're just like, oh shit, am I going to cover this spread? Like what's going to happen here? So you just like don't even pay attention to the first quarter of that game.
Yep. Or you don't have the bet in, and then you, like you said, you want to see if you're going to win these bets. You have trouble getting the bet in. A lot of times
you probably even miss it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I forget to bet that game all the time. And then 425. All right. So I got that one. So we have 4 games left. Next one is a very interesting game, and I'm curious what you have to say about it. You obviously know which game I'm talking about because I'm not talking about San Fran, Seattle. I'm talking about Green Bay, Minnesota. In Minnesota.
Here's what I had to say. Public loves Green Bay. They're going to respect Green Bay even after the 3 losses. Minnesota is like that up-and-coming, like, kind of sexy pick, but I don't think everybody's on them. But Minnesota's a better team, and Minnesota's at home. So I basically said factoring both sides of that equation in, these teams come out to dead even, and the 3-point home advantage there goes to Minnesota. So I said Minnesota's 3-point favorite.
So you broke it down good, but you didn't put enough emphasis on the public loving Green Bay. So
really,
I said Green Bay -1. I said Minnesota -1.5, and it's Minnesota -1. So the way I did it again is I flipped it and I said if they're playing in Green Bay, what would it be? 4.5 maybe, and it's 5. 5 makes more sense than 4.5. If they're playing in Green Bay, I could see a 5-point spread and the Sharps hammering Minnesota and winning. Here and then you flip it back, take away the 6. So it's Minnesota -1. Green Bay's going to be coming for blood. You know Rodgers, I mean, what a tough business betting on the NFL is. Like trying to figure out if Rodgers is going to come back. Like, who knows? Like, why didn't he come back last week? Is he going to come back this week? Who knows? You got to be like best friends with the guy and talking to him and asking him how he feels about the game to really get a read on it. I don't know. I live in Portland, Maine. I'm so far away from the NFC North. I have no idea. But the spread makes sense. It's going to be a great game to watch. I don't have a read.
I'm not even gonna. You just Costanza it and walk out because you put that one perfectly, and I don't want to do anything to add or take away from what you said. That's spot on.
All right, go teams. Click. No. But yeah, that's seriously though. I mean, it's going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch it. I'll bet a little on it to like have a side. Like if I don't bet on it, I'm just going to take it. Like you got to bet if you're going to watch. There's no point in watching football unless you're betting or sports. Yeah, I like.
You digress.
Yeah, I digress. I get that one. You said -3. Yep. All right. The next game, I was a little bit off on this one. San Fran, Seattle.
Tough to read, man. Seattle's at home. Public loves Seattle at home. Seattle's typically a good team at home, but they just lost at home this week. Then again, Arizona's a legit team. San Francisco, I don't think so, even though Blaine Gabbert won last week, so that throws a whole nother wrench into there. But, I mean, you got to think Seattle is going to take care of business against the Niners at home. I said this is going to be a touchdown spread.
Yeah, so I'm going to get it. I said 9, and it's 13.
13?
Yeah, unbelievable.
What?
I mean,
all right, hammer the Niners.
I mean, I guess again, I'm gonna do it again. Maybe it's stupid to do this. Figure the game in San Fran. Would Seattle be a touchdown favorite in San Fran? That makes more sense than the 13. I could see the touchdown in San Fran, and then you just add the 6.
I guess. I mean,
it's weird to do it that way with the high numbers, though.
That's just so many points.
I know. That's way too many points.
Gabbert might be the real deal. We don't know.
What's that? Oh, right. Dude, right? Who knows? I'll need a school on him, though.
Mizzou.
Thank you. Fucking rest in peace, everyone over
right?
there. So, yeah, I mean, that game, I need to let that marinate. I don't have a good read on that number. It's a crazy number.
That number is outrageous to me. I mean, I think I like the Niners, but I would hate to bet on the Niners.
Okay, the Pats were 14-point favorites versus the Redskins at home. So you're telling me if you compare the Redskins and the Niners, which a couple weeks ago they were
especially at the time, the Redskins have looked legit the past couple of weeks, but at the time they're the same team. Yeah,
just about. I mean, maybe
Seattle is nothing. I don't know. This number feels too high, and the Pats didn't even cover that game against the Redskins, right?
They did.
They did?
They won 27-10 or something.
27-10. That was what it was.
They didn't cover the second half though.
Gotcha. That's what it was.
But yeah, I mean, Seattle's a lot worse than New England.
Yeah, I agree. I think that spread's too high. That's crazy to me.
The number's too high, but I don't want to bet it. All right, so I have 6, you have 3, and there's 2 left. So good game.
Gonna be tough for me to pull this one out.
It's gonna be tough, especially considering I hit Sunday Night Football exactly. This is a great game. Cincinnati, Arizona. It was flexed. I checked that out today. It was flexed to Sunday Night Football because who was going to put this game at Sunday? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a decent matchup preseason, but now it's obviously a really good matchup. Arizona coming off a good win on the road in Seattle. Cincy coming off a win against Houston by 15. That's just a guess because the game starts in an hour.
No.
What do you got?
I think if this game's in Cincy, that the Bengals are a 5-point favorite. So I said Arizona -1.
All right. See, isn't that a good way to do it? So you said Arizona -1. It's Arizona -2.5.
And you got it exactly?
I got that exactly. And I did the same thing you did. But
here's the caveat, though. Here's the caveat. Cincy's going to blow it out this evening, and that line's going to move right down towards me and count it.
I don't think there's anything Cincy could do to Houston that would make Vegas be like, oh shit, Cincy's good.
I mean, yeah, they're undefeated.
Like, what are they going to do to Houston? They're going to win 49-0. The line won't move.
Right.
I mean, I think we both agree on that. But it's going to be a good game. I'm rooting hard for Arizona. Since you guys has kind of a tough schedule coming up, right? They won the division last year, so they have division wins.
They did not. They did not win the division last year.
Pittsburgh did.
Pittsburgh did, because we would have played them if they won the division.
Yeah. But I feel like they still have a tough schedule. I looked at it. All right, do they play the AFC West? Yeah, they do. So they have the Texans, then they're at the Cardinals, versus the Rams, who, I mean, I don't know, they're not the worst team in the league. At Cleveland division, versus Pittsburgh, at San Fran, come on Blaine, at Denver versus Baltimore. And that Baltimore Week 17, you're not telling me they're going to want to win that game just to screw with the Bengals? Like, I don't know. Since he has a couple losses in there, but that's neither here nor there regarding this game. I don't really have a read on this Bengals-Cardinals game. It's going to be a great game. It's hard to, like, say who you like right now.
Going to be exciting to watch. That's like the main, obviously that's a feature game of this day. And there's actually not, like, too many awesome matchups earlier in the day, and the fact that the Pats aren't playing. So if there was ever a Sunday to, like, get other stuff done, this would be the one. And then get home in time for this marquee matchup, and then Pats on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
And that because the girlfriend's birthday this week, so that's what I'll be doing, taking care of business next Sunday during the day, but figuring it out in time to watch football at night. Good deal.
That works out well for you. I don't know if this is a great red zone week, like you were saying, because I don't have big plans on Sunday, but I could see myself sitting down and watching, hopefully, the Denver-Chicago games national, because I'm interested in that game, and then watching Green Bay, Minnesota at 4, which is going to be a good game, and then Cincy, Arizona, but obviously I'm just going to want to watch whoever I'm betting on, and who knows who that's going to be. Whatever Furman tells me to bet on in the podcast. So, alright. The last game, Buffalo, New England. Speak on it.
Now that you told me that the Seattle was favored by 13, I almost want to bump this number even up higher.
That would be illegal.
But I said Pats minus 10. I think that might be too low. But like I said, I do believe in Buffalo a little bit. I think they're legit, but I don't think Rex, who was it? Somebody, I think, so Jerry Thornton was, I was reading him today, on his blog on EI, and he said, Tom Coughlin and Eli, have permanent real estate in his brain, and they've put a couple plastic red hotels on there, so he's charged quadruple every time he lands there. But Rex Ryan is free parking.
Nice.
Every time he's there, he's getting them. So, I really liked that. So I regurgitated it here for all of our fans to hear.
That's good.
But yeah, I think the Bills could be legit, but I'm not scared of them against us next week. Famous last words. I hope not. But either way, I said 10, and I think it could be more.
All right. So I'm going to get this one. I'm going to try to.
God!
I'm going to try and break this to you, like slowly, I guess. So you were drawing comparisons to the Seattle game. Buffalo's a lot better than San Fran. And
yes,
if Vegas is like giving, and when we compared the Redskins Pats game to this Seahawks game, and how it was like pretty similar, then you have to look at the difference between Buffalo and San Fran. We are connecting dots that makes no sense to connect. Dan, the spread's a lot lower than we both thought. I said 9, it's 7. I mean, the Pats have injuries. They did not look good last week. They did not look good against the Giants. I know they're the Giants, but I'm just like, in terms of Vegas and people betting, they didn't look good against the Giants. I think the spread will go up. I can't imagine it being 7 minus 110 on Monday Night Football against Rex at home, like you were saying. But the offensive line's in shambles. Edelman's out. Like, what the fuck? And I said, we were talking about it last week, how I was like, Edelman, like when you were like, at least they didn't lose Brady or Gronk. And I was like, or Edelman. And you were like, or Edelman. And now we lost Edelman. So, Christ, it sucks.
Yeah. I honestly feel like this is all my fault. I had said that, but I said Brady and Gronk, and I kind of left Edelman out. Like, I kind of didn't give him the respect he obviously deserves.
I did, though.
You did. But, when I was talking about it, I was just like, next man up, James White isn't going to, we're going to morph the offense a little bit. James White isn't going to fill right into where Lewis went out, but, we'll be able to get by without him. And I was saying, like, if Edelman went down, we'd have Danny step up, and then other people fill in for what gets dropped off. But I never really wanted it to find out the hard way, and that's where we're at this point. So,
and it's just, I mean, I want the Pats. Like, maybe another reason why it's 7 is I want the Pats to be up 17 in the fourth quarter, and I want Gronk out of the game, and I want Amendola. All right, I know we have punt returns and kickoffs are two different things. Everyone knows that. I love them. That punt return was awesome. Keep doing your thing. Stop returning the kickoffs. At best, you get to the 21-yard line, and you take a fucking shot, and you could fumble. What is the point? Why doesn't Belichick tell Amendola and everyone, if you have the ball in the end zone, there is no point in not, like, take a knee. You have to take.
Well, that's what he did. That's what he did in the last drive.
Well, time was also a factor then. I know, and I'm very happy because he caught it at, like, the half-inch line of the end zone, and he was just in.
And he basically caught it on a knee.
I'm pretty sure their kicker was not giving 100%, and it's smart of the kicker to do. He does not bomb it. He purposely, it's smart. It's a good move by him. Are you telling me that this is a little different. Can there be somebody who figures out how to do a kickoff super high and not that far, and then you just run up and it's a free-for-all?
Yeah, and you just smoke guys.
Well, I guess you can fair catch.
You can call a fair catch, but, nobody thinks to do, yeah, I agree. Somebody should figure out how to do that. I mean, it's on a tee. It's got to be difficult, otherwise people would have tried it by now, I think.
Just, angle the ball, here's the ball, and you just, have it go like this, and then you just kick up 10 yards.
And just get it way up in the air?
Yeah, 10 yards. You telling me, the big guys are going to think to fair catch?
Where do you want it to land? Do you want this to be like an onside kick, or do you want to do every kickoff and have it land around the 20? But
yeah, or even around the 50, right behind that first line, and then it's just a scramble. And if people are running and you kick it to where no one can catch it, then it's just a free for all.
Well, I mean yeah, but you see people try that try weird onside kick, and when you don't need an onside kick, but the hands team is up and you loop it over them or whatever.
It's cool.
Speaking of strategy and stuff, I know we're going long on this, but whatever. What did you think about at the end of the game? I was saying let him score a touchdown. I was almost wanting that Beckham catch to be a touchdown just because I was otherwise they're going to run the clock down. But I didn't realize how incompetent every other coach in the freaking league is, because they run that play and have 2:01 left, and then we get an extra play in there, and Belichick just knows. It was like in the Super Bowl last year, and he doesn't call a timeout. He just waits for the other guy to fuck up, and we're golden. Dan,
you said it perfectly. We're in a group chat. Belichick is the only coach smarter than me and you. I blacked out. I forgot that there. I was confused about. I blacked out for the whole thing. Beckham catches that ball, clearly not a catch. Anyone even what the fuck? This is what are you talking about? That is not a catch anywhere. It's not even anyone questioning that is insane. And then I was saying, don't review it, give him the touchdown, and you were like, it's getting reviewed, and I'm like, no, it's 2:01. They're not going to review it because it's not on. Scores get reviewed. That's idiotic on my end. I completely forgot. That shows that maybe I'm not as smart as I think. Because in these pressure situations like that Dan Quinn was in, you're in a... Dude, it's tougher than you think. And imagine being on the sideline, similar to Wheel of Fortune. I'm such a good Wheel of Fortune player, but put me up there, and it's a little tougher, I would imagine.
It is true. It's much easier to coach an NFL team from your couch than it is from the sidelines, I imagine.
And we had so much I had so much emotion going on in that game that I felt like I was on the sideline, and then I was fucked up, and I couldn't think or form thoughts, and I was just going nuts.
Yeah, oh no, I 100% agree.
But you're right. It was just like the end of the Super Bowl. It was just like the end of 2 Super Bowls. It was just like the end of the Giants Super Bowl, and just like the end of the Seahawks Super Bowl. At the end, Belichick thinking, and you're right, you feel good that you have Belichick on your side. I wanted them to score a touchdown. Dumb. It was dumb. I admit it. I was wrong. We both wanted them to score a touchdown, but you really think about it, 2 points. They were going to be up 2. They're up 2 points. Brady needs to get to the 40 instead of score a touchdown. I'm sorry, Brady wasn't scoring a touchdown in 2 minutes.
Yeah, but if you give Brady the ball and tell him all he needs is a field goal, I mean...
Now we're talking about the 01 Super Bowl. That was 3 Super Bowls.
Yep, all wrapped into one.
That was 3 Super Bowls all wrapped into one. Has anyone said that yet? That's a hot take.
That is hot. And I mean, speaking of hot, Brady, but also having the best kicker in the league, that helps.
It does help. It definitely helps. I need him to miss a kick that doesn't matter soon.
Yeah, because he doesn't miss. So, yeah, you're right.
He needs to
get
miss
one
a kick
out of the
soon.
way, and then,
yeah. Who was it on the Vikings? Do you know what I'm talking about? Not Vanderjack? Or,
Gary Anderson?
Gary Anderson was perfect. And then missed the kick to go to the Super Bowl against the Falcons, I think it was.
Yeah, that's right.
You gotta miss a kick. Because not that one. I'm glad you made that one. Our undefeated bet is still alive. Our undefeated season is still alive. But, telling you, first kick against Buffalo, just shank it for me.
Exactly, yeah, no, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, so, but what a game, what a freaking game, took some years off my life. We were going nuts over here.
That was exciting. That was, like you said, I basically blacked out. That was almost too much to handle. The Giants always play us tough, but I was real happy to get out of there with a win.
We got out of there with a win. That's all that matters. Edelman, get well soon. This Pats-Bills game, I mean, honestly, I don't even love it right now. Maybe because I'm just still so jaded. I'm going to eventually love it, but I don't love it right now. Even though I guess 9, you guess 10, and it's 7, I just don't love it right now.
I agree. I mean, we'll bet it. It's Monday Night Football. We might tease it or take points, or I don't know what we'll do, but we'll figure it out when the time comes.
I hope to have a nice roll and then tease one leg on Sunday with the Pats for a big bet, so I can just have Pats money line, basically,
That'd be nice to roll in a bet from Sunday that wins into a big time teaser on the Pats on Monday.
So let's try and podcast again so we can figure out what that teaser is going to be. So we should try it. We should.
I agree. We'll break it. We'll do another one before Sunday's games to break down which bets we really like.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily need to hit on every single game, but the bets we really like. And then, which was the game we were talking about teasing down? Carolina?
I totally forget. Who they playing? Washington, -7? I don't know. I don't like it that much.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, we'll figure it out when the time comes.
Yeah, I don't feel that strongly about any plays right now. I just started talking about the Pats, and that's all I'm thinking about now. That's terrible for the podcast, but
brain warped, baby.
Brain warped. So yeah, we should try and podcast again. We said it the past 2 weeks, but this time I really want to do it. So all right, I got to win this week, so you're 2-1, I'm 1-2. So next week maybe I'll get to 500, or maybe you'll beat me. So we'll see.
Are you Jeff Fisher or not?
Exactly. We'll see. So we'll see if I'm Jeff Fisher or if I'm fucking Dan Quinn or not. Dan Quinn actually has a good record, doesn't he? Jeff Fisher or Jim Tomasula. Okay. All right, nice. Danny boy. Until next time.
Good job by you.
Good job by you, Danny.